Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I apologize first for the late hour of this drop, and then secondly for my appearance, because I just got in from outside. I worked outside all day because it's gonna rain for like 3 days where I live, and I need to get some stuff in. That said, I hope those were fireworks. I guess we'll just have to wait to see if we hear any sirens or not. That said, we have some important updates out of the VANDERSTOK V Garland case. That is the FPC case out of the Northern District of Texas, challenging the ATF's final rule on frames and receivers. I cannot link over to FPC. They're cracking down on that pretty hard, but if you were to search for VANDERSTOK v Garland, they're probably the first ones that are going to pop up. That said, here we go to the decision. This case presents the question of whether the federal government may lawfully regulate partially manufactured firearms components, related firearms products, and other tools and materials in keeping with the Gun Control Act of 1968. Because the court concludes that the government cannot regulate those items without violating federal law, the court holds that the government's recently enacted final rule, definition of frame or receiver, and identification of firearms, numbers, is unlawful agency action taken in excess of the ATF statutory jurisdiction. On this basis, the court vacates the final rule. Now, there's a couple different impacts from this, and first and foremost, and probably most obvious, is that, the final rule on frames and receivers is now deceased, right? I think that most of you kind of figured that out, right? But then any ongoing litigation can also be impacted by this by saying, hey, we have new evidence to submit. We just had a court give a decision that said, hey, they don't think that this is constitutional because they don't see that it falls within the legislative bounds granted to them by Congress. Also, in the future, we kind of already know where the playbook is sort of headed, probably towards binary triggers and things like that, right? This gives us ammunition to use from stage one when we file those lawsuits against illegal, unconstitutional actions, whether it's a rule change or just a, nope, that's an item A or an item B now. We've now determined that that's a thing, right? And you can't do that. This court now says, nah, you got to go to Congress and get them to pass legislation that says that is part of what they wanted to regulate. So yeah, that's it, guys. Win. Yay. Good night.